So by being in a bunch of different Discord trading servers, I have noticed that a lot of people just don't know how to backtest. They backtest completely wrong, and they actually aren't recording the things that need to be recorded through backtesting. Okay, there's a few different reasons for backtesting. Okay, number one, you're either a complete beginner and you have no clue what you're doing and you're just trying to get a sense of the charts, or number two, you are trying to refine your strategy and make it better. So I'm going to show you guys the second option, how to refine your strategy and make it better through backtesting. Okay, so I'm going to be trading my model in this video, and I'm going to show you guys a few different trades and how we can backtest it and how we can actually gather data to make the model better through backtesting, because that is what backtesting is for. A lot of people are addicted to backtesting, and the reason why they're addicted to backtesting is because they're addicted to trading. So let's get out of that mindset and let's actually gather some proper results through our backtesting. Okay, and number one thing you need when you start backtesting is going to be a proper backtest journal. Okay, I have created this backtesting journal for myself. It works perfectly fine. If you guys want it, it will be in my Discord. The link will be in the description. The journal has a whole bunch of different things, and you guys can even add your own things. And I'm going to show you guys later in the video how you can add your own things to change the strategy up, change the data that you're collecting, and so you can actually get data and then change your strategy with that data, because that is what backtesting is for. It's not for just scrolling through the charts, because you can do that without backtesting. Okay, if you actually want to become a good trader, you need to understand backtesting and how to gather results and data, and then how to use that data to become a better trader. So I'm going to show you guys right here how I personally do that. So first off, we are going to find a trade that I would take using my model, and I'm just going to skip forward, and once I find a trade, I'll let you guys know, and I'll show you guys how I backtest and how I journal that trade down. Okay, so I found a potential trade right here. Looks pretty decent, right? We've been creating bullish market structure, come down, and we have a demand zone right here. Okay, this is beautiful demand zone. Really great looking trade, right? We have our break of structure from the liquidity. This is like, pretty A+ trade for me, except for that structure coming down to the zone, but it's fine. Even if we do lose this trade, it doesn't really matter, okay? Right, so we're gonna enter there, and this is gonna be basically what we're taking. Let's see if it ends up winning. Ends up winning. Great. We just won our trade. So basically all I did is I'm just in the markets going like this. Oops, not like that. All I'm doing is I'm in the markets going like this. I'm just going through the candles, and when I see my trade, I enter the trade. Boom, I found my trade. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to gather data about this trade before I go forward anymore. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to trade count. Obviously, first trade. This is on silver. Okay, trade taken. We did take this trade. This is for live markets if you missed the trade or skipped it. Okay, trade date is going to be November 6th, 2025. Entry time is going to be 10:20. 10:20. Trade type. Let's actually put the PM for this. Trade type is going to be demand. We won this trade. The risk reward on this trade, we targeted this high of liquidity. We got a 2.3 on this, and you guys can see it updates right down here. So when you add another trade, it keeps adding your risk reward together. Let's say we risked 1%, so we made 2.3%. The setup, you can go over here on trading view, and you can go to here, download the image, and boom, you can then have your image right in there. Trade notes is going to be anything you really saw about the setup. So right here, I mentioned kind of bad structure back down to the zone. Poor structure back to the zone. Boom. If we see then, if there's a bunch of bad structure trades back to the zone, we probably shouldn't take that. That's the beauty of backtesting. We can see what works and what doesn't. Okay, so boom, trade notes. That's all set. Let's now find our next trade, and we can start to add different data together to see what works and what doesn't. Okay, oops, I went way too far. I did not mean to click that. But here we go. Our next trade right here. Trade will be taken off of that. Actually, what time is this at? This is at 640. Okay, so trade can be taken at that time. Boom. Liquidity. A high was broken right here. That's a break of structure. Boom. We confirmed bullish market structure. And then our take profit is going to be a 2 risk reward. Boom. Just like that. There we go. This is the trade. Let's see if it hits. It does end up hitting. There we go. Go and document this trade down. This is on Friday, the 7th at 640. Okay, so new page, 2. Took this. November 7th. Entry time 6:40 a.m. Demand, we won this trade. Risk reward was a standard 2 risk reward, and the percent gain was 2%. The setup picture, boom, go here, download the image, upload the file, bang. What are some notes we could put about this? Well, if we go in the higher time frame here, we could see that's a pretty large stop loss right there. Okay, so we can say large stop loss. And something else, what else do we see about this trade? Liquidity was a little bit far. Boom, there we go. We just created our database. Now what we can do is now we can start to add different elements to our backtesting, okay? So let's say I want to test out a certain thing about my strategy, okay? So something I'm actually inquiring about my strategy is potentially changing the way we enter, okay? We normally enter through this right here. We wait for that directional close, so that bullish candle out of that demand zone. I'm wondering if maybe I could get better risk rewards, better trades, if I just enter straight off that demand zone, not waiting for that confirmation. Okay, so boom. Let's go test that out now. So we can go to the first trade here, and we could see, all right, let's say I entered right here at the start of this demand zone. Let's say I put my stop loss right outside that demand zone and targeted the same place. You can see, boom, we got a 3 risk reward right there. So that's great. Let's note that down. What we can do here is we go to the next one. Okay, let's look at this. Let's say we put it here and we put our stop loss slightly outside the zone, just like that, and we targeted the same area. 6.4 risk reward. So you guys can already see that potentially it might be better. So I'm actually being serious right now. I'm going to test this out. I'll send it in my Discord. It potentially could be better to do this entry method rather than the directional close. So I'll let you guys know, but sometimes it might be better to do this. So now that I have 2 different sets of data right here, what I can do is I can go back in, and this is why I love Notion. If you guys want the template, it's obviously in my Discord, completely free. I'm also launching a free PDF in the Discord showing you guys exactly how to trade this strategy, completely free. I don't sell anything. So what you can do is you can go and you can actually edit this database, and you can add different stuff to the database. So, for example, let's test out the risk to reward when we use this entry method. Okay, so let's go here, add a property, and let's do number. Let's change this name to dash no confirmation entry. Okay, so RR with no confirmation entry. Okay, so the first trade here was a 3.2. Second trade right here was a 6.4, so just insane, right? 6.4, boom. Okay, these numbers are great, but what we can do now that makes it even better is we go right here, we go to calculate, we go to more options, and we go to sum. Boom. Now you guys have the exact percent you made on this trade, just literally from these 2 numbers right here. So you don't even have to calculate it. You don't have to do anything, and you can see it. You can see the 2 different results. 4.3 risk reward right here, 9.6 when we did the other method. Now, listen up. You need a lot of backtest results to make this work. Okay, 2 trades is not going to tell us if this is a better entry method. but it will show you guys the power of backtest results, okay? And being able to kind of mix and match them and look at them to see what is actually better. Okay, let's use the same method, but if we have like 60 trades, then we are going to be able to see which confirmation entry is better, okay? With confirmation or without, okay? And that's how I backtest the strategy and how I keep making the strategy better literally every single month. And a lot of you guys are not leveraging AI properly, okay? What we could do with this strategy is we can go here and zoom out a little bit, and we could just take a screenshot of this entire database, send it over to ChatGPT and say, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses of my backtest of my strategy? And what ChatGPT might say is, it might say, when you have, 60 to 70 different trades, it might say that, oh, well, you actually should not be entering around 7 a.m. You lose a lot of trades at 7 a.m. Maybe your best time is at 1 p.m. or maybe your best time's at 2 a.m. Okay, it will show you what your best time to trade at is. And so you can already see how beneficial that can be to your strategy. If you're losing 90% of the trades at 7 a.m., let's not take trades at 7 a.m. Boom, it's that clear, and that is why backtest is so important. Again, let's say you send this to ChatGPT and it says, whoa, your win rate is 50% lower when you take poor structured trades. Let's not take poor structured trades. It's that simple, boys. It's literally that simple, okay? This is what you need to be doing. You need to be documenting different types of entry types, basically what you're seeing on the chart. Put it back into your journal. Try to get every little bit of information you can. Send it over to ChatGPT. Get ChatGPT to analyze it, because do you think I want to analyze 60 or 70 different trades? No, I don't want to. So I send it to ChatGPT. I let my little slave do the work for me. And in return, I just use my brain and I go, wait, ChatGPT said my worst entry is at 7 a.m. I should not be taking that trade. I don't take it next time I see it. It's that simple, guys. This is the way you need to be backtesting. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, join the Discord of like-minded traders. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.